All right, UConn tournament time. And I'm going to take a little break from talking about the basketball action itself to talk about an advertisement, actually, and one that I think UConn fans really fell in love with and really enjoyed. So joining me today, we got Rob Hoxie. He's of Tiege Hanley. So, Rob, thanks so much for hopping on.
Glad to be here. Really, really appreciate it.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people here have probably seen it and heard of the ad. So before we dive into the ad, why don't we just talk your background for a little bit? I know you've got some UConn connections, so take us through your background and what led to your role at Tiege Hanley.
Sure. Well, it goes a long way back. Two, two, two of us were roommates together. This Kelly Thornton and myself back in the '90s, and and long story short, we uh, kept in touch after graduation, and I'd visit him out in Chicago. He's from he I met him in the second year of high school in Danbury,
Okay.
and then we both went to ended up going to UConn, and after we graduated, I stayed in Connecticut. I went to into the high tech business, and Kelly went to Chicago, and he was working with like the Unilevers of the world, doing point of purchase displays and so
Mhm.
forth, that you see on in CVS's and things.
Yeah.
And you know, I had a really great uh, career in high tech. I was with a software company in Connecticut for 20 years, believe it or not. And we got bought by BlackBerry,
Okay.
if you know that name.
Yeah.
um, and so I started consulting, and I worked with Google for a while and so forth. And then I was kind of in between gigs. And Kelly at one day called me and said, "Hey, look, I've got this." He knew that I was, kind of in between in
Yeah.
between jobs. And he said, "I've been seeing a surge in this men's stuff, the men really actually caring about taking care of their face and things like that, because he witnessed it, going on in the stores that he was building
Yeah.
a purchase for." So that was how it started. And so it's kind of funny. Your old roommate is he said, "Hey, I'm gonna pay you some consulting money to research the market, so that that I could understand it and see if he's crazy, right?" And so I did. And the funny thing was that, like, I'll never forget, like, after couple weeks, of research and so forth, I was amazed how many men's targeted products there were out there.
Mhm.
And my first thought was like, wow, this is hard. This is a hard category for guys to even understand, right?
Yeah.
So one thing led to another, and the whole thing was about, we can do better for guys and just tell them and help them understand what they need to do to get on a healthy skincare routine, and make it just dumb dudes simple, but anyway, it's basically like it's everything you need in one box.
Yeah.
And we have instruction cards in the boxes, because guys, they don't grow up learning how to take care of their skin, right?
Yeah. No, I know I haven't, so
That's the idea. It's and we had failed first, like, we tried it for a couple of years, and we were using other people's products.
Mhm.
And we ran into a influencer going by Alpha M, Aaron Marino, and we were going to write a pretty big check to have him, like, help us promote what we were doing. And one thing led to another. Really good guy, and we basically started having discussions about hey, what would it be like if we just kind of joined forces? And that's really what happened. He was thinking about building a brand himself for men's skincare, and so that's how it happened. And so we got joined forces. We had a chemist that we brought into the team, and the rest is history. I mean, the first week of launch, we had like almost 1,000 subscribers,
Wow.
and yeah, so.
Yeah. So you go from that, you've got the company underway, being successful, and now you have this idea to come up for an ad with some UConn basketball players. How'd that idea come to fruition there?
Much faster. I mean, this thing was I could tell you, Kelly was so he lives in Chicago, and our whole team is in Chicago.
Okay.
I'm a lone wolf here in Connecticut, in Milford, Connecticut, and Aaron is in Atlanta. So we're the only remote guys, really. And Kelly was at the DePaul game, the last
Yeah.
DePaul game away, and some of the guys, like the Worth guys, the Worth
Yep.
Institute guys were there, and they were just talking about and Kelly was trying to understand more about the NIL situation and everything.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. And Kelly, originally he was thinking about the idea that, like, at the end of games, even when they were at DePaul, the when we're crushing the opponent, Hurley was, everyone wanted to see Hurley in the game, right?
Yeah.
And so that was the original idea. It was like, and it was like Hurley gets the girl kind of thing, And then the other players were going to be like, what's going on with him? And of course, it's because he
Yeah.
uses Hanley, right? And takes care of his skin. So that's how it started. And then we got serious about it, like the next day, about, all right, should we do this? It's very opportune, and obviously the team's playing amazing,
Yeah.
blah blah blah, and we started. So we quickly got to a script writer who we had met at a conference like a few years
Mhm.
back. Had never used him, but we brought him in, and we had two or three people write scripts, and yeah, and so we picked the one that you're gonna see,
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
that you
So
saw.
yeah. So whether or not you've seen the ad, we're gonna do a playing of it right now for you. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll get to see it. If not, if you're listening on audio, we'll link to it. You can make sure that you get the chance to check it out. So Rob, I'm gonna let you open up this ad here.
Yo, Cam, you see Coach's face after that call last night? He was like, no, you gotta get the lip more. He was like this. You gotta bring your chin down a little bit. His lip was out more, but his eyebrows were going too. Oh, he was mad. Trust me, his eyebrows were way more squinted than that. You didn't see, I was in the huddle with him. He was like this. I'm right next to him. How are you gonna tell me? Guys, Adama? This is his face. Sanogo's a pro. Perfect your game face with Tiege Hanley. Uncomplicated skincare for men.
So we did it in the men's basketball locker room,
Yeah.
their locker room in Gamble, not the practice facility.
Okay.
And so the night before, and we only had like 2 hours with them, like when they, and by the way, and I wrote this in my LinkedIn post, we this was just happened to be the night of the PC game,
Okay.
and daylight savings time is coming along that
Yeah.
night. So we're like, are these guys going to show up? So they're college guys, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and so in prep, we were there the night before, and we're like looking at all the different angles. The crew was looking at all the angles, and we knew the height of the guys and everything like
Yeah.
that, because there was a lot to it to make it all come together and the big thing is trying to make sure that Sanogo looks like he really was, in the locker room, right?
Yeah.
So like you're looking at this picture here, like think going back from Spencer's back, that's where they had to look, and they like
Okay.
put a marking on where Sanogo's height would be, so that it just looks realistic.
Yeah. Oh
So
wow, that's cool. Yeah.
yeah, so that's that. And then it's just fun. There's the locker room. Now this is the in Chicago. So the next
Yeah.
day we flew. Everyone went. The same people went, and Kelly's the one on the left there. So
Okay.
he wasn't at the stores one, but he joined us in the Chicago.
Chicago.
This is at a hockey rink, just a random hockey rink that we got,
Okay.
because it had like lockers
Yeah.
similar fit in kind of thing. And so there's Sanogo and myself and Kelly. And that part is the interesting thing is, Kelly, I hadn't met Sanogo prior,
Mhm.
but again, the Worth Institute, David Noble, you might
Yeah.
and Josh Cantor, they introduced us on a trip because when he got drafted by the
Yeah, by the
Bulls,
Bulls. Yeah.
they made introductions, and they went to lunch and all this stuff. And so Kelly's been like texting and just kind of talking with Sanogo for the last half a year or whatever.
Very cool.
So it's really cool. So it all just kind of came together like that. So.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and fun to get a little bit of a behind the scenes look there. So it's really cool to see what went into it, get that behind the scenes look. I'm curious from your perspective, what was it like getting to work with the players in this type of setting? I'm sure it's cool seeing them in a different setting than just out on the court.
Yeah. Well, I had met uh, Clingan before. Again, a lot of this thing, was in the works because of, or I should say, it was like it was planted early, when I was about two months or 3 months ago. I was invited to present my Tiege Hanley to
Mhm.
some entrepreneur classes, and
Okay.
Donovan was in happened to be in that class, and I think he was kind of impressed of in what we're doing, and he basically said, he was interested in talking, at some point.
Yeah.
That's what I got from them, and so yeah, and a couple months go by, and then this idea comes back up, and so when I uh, met them in the locker room, like he was like, "Oh, hey, because I was like, he's never gonna remember who I am,"
Yeah.
but he really did, and he was pretty psyched, and he told me, that he's been, and I gave him product
Yeah.
that day, in months earlier, and he's been using it since. So
Very
it's
cool.
yeah, and Cam, same thing. I mean, just I would say the three guys, in the commercial, just unbelievably nice guys. I mean, they're ferocious competitors, but I mean, really, really just guys you would just want to hang out with. So.
Yeah, very cool. I know just from seeing my Twitter feed when this ad first came out, the response was fantastic. What have you seen as you've seen this ad now out there for a little bit in terms of the response from the fan base and just your general audience there?
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you saw some of the comments are like ridiculous, like the best advertising since advertising kind of stuff. It's like, we, and like I said, it's like everything just came together, I guess,
Yeah.
in a really weird way. And like, who the hell knew that these guys would act so well?
Yeah. No, they did a great job.
I mean, and truth be told, most of that, what we captured with Cam and Donovan, I mean, it was their ad libbing.
Yeah.
We just told them have fun. Just have fun with this, because they understood the you know, it was pretty simple, you know, like
Yeah.
we're making fun of Hurley slightly, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, and so they really had fun with it.
No, this is awesome, Rob. I really appreciate you taking some time to come on. I think this is fun. Get some behind the scenes look into the ad. I'm always interested to hear how NIL has been able to impact college players now, and being able to see what what you guys are able to do. Really seems like a perfect match there in terms of what people are looking for from NIL there. And I'm just going to mention this on here on the podcast. So Rob is gonna give away some product here. So we want to see your Hurley faces. So if respond to the episode tweet with this, you could email it in. We want to see your coach faces. So do them. We're gonna pick some winners. We're gonna send some product and continue to have some fun with this, because I think everyone's enjoyed it, and if I know this fan base, I know you're gonna get some good faces.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
Well, Rob,
Guys,
I really appreciate you taking some time to come on and do this. Have some fun during the tournament here, and send us those faces. So Rob, appreciate the time and thanks so much.
thank you. Thanks very much. Go Huskies.